Alright guys, welcome back to more Drakengard 2. We are in post-commentary right now. I just, as in, like a minute ago, beat this mission. I have been, let's see, our last video that we uploaded for Drakengard. Looks like, actually it wasn't that long ago. November 27th, November 25th, November 22nd. So I had some, delays within the uploading of those. So the last one, November 27th, that was 4 days ago. But in comparison to like recording dates, I recorded that video back on the 10th of November, so it's been about a month. So I essentially I tried this like 2 or 3 times with the weapon setup that we had, and it just wasn't working. So I ended up switching Eris and Lady Mana to have a better weapon, in which it works so much better. The seal spear, when you have it fully leveled up and you do a one of the combos, I think it's the 4 square triangle combo, or it's the square and 4 triangle combo. I can't really remember which one. It'll send like a shockwave that will end up knocking them down if they're not guarding, and that will end up allowing you to move in. And that's kind of the strategy that I was using for this. So like they blocked it there, but if they don't block it, boom, it knocks them down, and then you can get some free hits on them, get their souls out of their body. And so there are 9 of these armor guys that you have to deal with to start with, in which we do get through these. This is the winning attempt. I was recording this for about an hour without doing any sort of voice stuff, just to see if I could do it, because I figured I might as well try the grind in this, because I've recorded so much Pokemon and Silent Hill that I haven't really touched this in a while, and I really wanted to get this done before Christmas, or not before Christmas, but before the end of the year. Because I want to say that Drakengard has kind of been going on for almost the entirety of 2019, because it's been put on hiatus so much. Let's see here. My first video of Drakengard, I mean, video 92 was back in June. Like, that's how long this series has been going. So it looks like February of 2019. This has been a ongoing LP for 10 months, essentially. And it's only 120 videos. It just takes a while. Oh, because I was looking that up, now we're in the skeleton areas. This is just a pain in the butt to try and get through. If you use Eris, you'll do decent damage. You can try and do one of your combos. So those enemies that are back there, they haven't spawned in yet, which is why they're not chasing us. Like, if you get rid of the ones that are chasing you immediately, that'll end up opening you some time for you to be able to relax. And like, that's kind of what I was trying to go for here, is just kind of like being a relaxed move. So now that they spawn, what I would do is I would start a combo where I send out a shockwave, and then that destroys them, so I don't really have to fight them. So it's a decent strategy. And like, boom, there, we take out all but one, because he never spawned. And I kind of just fight this one because I wanted the money. So there we go. So now, the third phase. This is like a 5-phase fight, which is really annoying. If this is all paused, I can just fast forward through this. Yeah, that is all paused. So we will just cut that out. And so this is a 5-phase fight, and I was looking at my guide that I found, which allowed me to know like whether there was extra cutscenes that were placed within the story throughout the second and third playthrough. And I was trying to like see, okay, so what's the next session of this, and what's the purpose gonna be? So you have skeletons and armor knights here, which is kind of annoying. So we are able to do pretty well. We with this, it's not as many enemies. I think it's like we already have half of them down, and we've killed maybe 4. So, but it's essentially the strategy over and over again. With the armor knights, do a ranged attack to knock them down, which would then allow you to go in for the melee combat. For the ones that are already spawned for the skeletons, beat them to the best of your ability, hopefully without taking too much damage. And then, what is it? And then when the skeletons are trying to spawn, just do a ranged attack as they're spawning, and then they'll die upon spawn, which is great. And this is some good, it's not the best experience, like it's 104 for one of the armor guards, and that's with the experience orb on top of it. And yeah, so here we go, we have a skeleton spawn, so we kind of start our combo, and boom. And there we go. It does not take long to take care of them. Oh, so actually it's a 6-stage fight. The guy's guide that I was reading, which I will actually say what it is. It's on LP Archive by the Dark ID. I was using his guide to check this mission and also check for extra cutscenes and whatnot. Did not have these witches as part of the mission, which is kind of annoying. And these witches are going to spawn skeletons. You don't have to take care of the skeletons. You only have to take care of the witches. So you can kind of just ignore the skeletons to the best of your ability. Hopefully, they don't... Hopefully, when you guys are doing this, they don't hit you. But we got Lady Mana level up. I think we even got Eris a level up earlier. It's just I wasn't really able to see. And so, like, there's so many skeletons right now, so I'm just kind of, like, blocking until I get a chance to get to the witches. Or the wizards, or, you know, whatever you want to call them. But there. That is the last one. Which then sends us into her mind with the Time Soldiers. So now it's less of Lady Mana and Eris, and more so of Yorick and Noe. And Yorick's going to be very helpful. I don't have the best weapon for him in this situation, because I wasn't expecting to use him when I first started the mission. But, I mean, Noe with the Seal Sword here, I mean, 200 plus damage. On the last hit with the Dragon Dance, it's 350. It's really good at taking down the enemies. And then even just like this, oh, let me just have this, like, sort of shield type thing just to push some enemies around and do little bits of damage that way is really nice. Oh, and Noe gets a level up, too. I think everyone got a level up except Yorick. Maybe Yorick gets a level up. I don't know. So it seems like there's 40 of these guys for this round. Like, we come in at about 50 enemies killed, which is always fun. And like the one thing that I really dislike about the free expeditions, and granted this is a Ubisoft thing. Ubisoft always makes their games ridiculously hard to 100%. And that is that with a free expedition, we can't like just start at a certain wave. Like, oh, we've beaten this wave plenty of times. And then we lose at like the last wave. We can't just start at a certain point in it, which would be great if we could, because it would make the grind quite a bit less to do. Now the flying missions, those are all like just one section, but like I wish that there was some sort of checkpoint, at least for like this one, that once you got into the mind where you're fighting these Knights of the Seal time enemies, that it ended up like checkpointing you know, which would have been fantastic. So it looks like we don't have that many enemies left, so we're going to end at 90 for this section. Because I have no idea, because we do have another section, and I have no idea how many enemies we ended up killing in that. And this is like this is, according to the Dark ID's guide, this is one of the hardest expedition mission. Alright, and so we're on to phase 3 now, which is more enemies. Just more enemies. And so I think I was taking a look at to see how many more enemies that he had listed. He said 40. I think it's more so like, I don't know, 80, maybe even 100. It's a lot of enemies. Like, your thing barely goes down. So I use a refreshing powder just to get some magic points back, do a little bit of this. Like, there's so many enemies here. And I decide I'm going to go with the second form of the magic, just so it lasts longer, does more damage, rather than trying to do the third form, which does that, like, rain damage thing. But the rain damage barely seems to work. Yeah, it is. We barely made a dent with killing 4 enemies. It's a lot. So I do think I pause it here for some reason, but I'm just going to cut that out. Alright, and we will be able to continue if my game decides to unpause. There we go. I should have probably cut out all the pauses, because I mean I can tell where there are pauses because the audio is just flat. So I should have probably just cut out all the pauses, but I was mainly making sure I cut out the... I think I had like 5 failed attempts today. But I mean, I've had other failed attempts quite a bit. And so I'm looking here at like the weapon combos, just seeing if any of those would actually end up making a difference. But I think Cyclone Dance for this portion is better. And that guy's sword swung like very slowly, which was interesting. And I was seeing if I had another weapon of Yorick's, but I don't. I only have the Morning Thorn. And there's just so many enemies that you can see on the mini-map in the top right corner. It's ridiculous. And Yorick's magic actually is not bad here, because there are so many enemies. But I mean, Yorick is made to go against hordes of enemies. He can't take hits that well. He has great HP, but his defense is abysmal. Because, like, I think one hit took us down to that. I couldn't really tell. But, I mean, we'll be able to see how much we do. So we've cleared 10 enemies, 11 enemies, and we've maybe made a dent in... yeah, we've barely made a dent in the progress bar on the left. And so I'm seeing like health pop up, which is great. We need health for other characters. And so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to heal those characters, just in case like there was another phase after this, in order to kill them, or in order to keep them alive if I needed to use them. So Noe, with him being under half health, I figured I'll switch to Noe, pick up the little health bar here, and then just switch back. Which we get great experience for this weapon, but it does not. I don't think it equates to a level up. I don't even think it equates to a level up for Yurik. But I mean, 62 experience off of one of these guys, just base with that experience orb. It's fantastic. Just look at that carnage. It is amazing. And we're starting to whittle them down. Like, we have a lot of the progress bar is gone now. Let's see, 62 times 1.8 would be minus 12.4, 24. So like, it's 111 experience for each of these guys at the current moment. And the experience orb, if you can save up the money in order to get it, is fantastic. Because it makes the grind for just leveling up your weapons and even your characters less of a headache. Because I want to say that we had we easily gained an extra like 5 or so levels because of it during the course of this. So I ended up pausing and stopping the recording because it was getting long, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to die. And then I killed some enemies, but I forgot that I wasn't recording. So this is that portion. So 147. And we started this at 90, so it looks like 65 enemies is the last portion. Maybe a little less than that. 64. Yeah, because these are the last enemies right here. No, it's 65 enemies in this last section. That is ridiculous. But with Noe and Yorick, you should be able to do pretty well. I'm very lucky that that didn't kill me there. Alright, so we end up getting a chest. The evil is gone. And we get our last weapon. And it's a long sword for Noe. We also got 2,900 bucks there, which is nice. And we get the Moonfire. So that's it. And when I see you guys next, we will be going into Chapter 12. Thanks for watching.